What a start.
You ruined it. Oh my god. Okay. Hello everybody. My name is Cynthia and this is
The Cynthetic Podcast.
No, you're supposed to say your goddamn name.
You said, and this is like.
No, like as in this is okay, never mind.
Yeah, and I'm Ethan. I didn't realize it has my full name on here. Can I change that? Okay, yes I can.
Oh my god, can we start over? Can we start over?
No.
Okay. I don't know how to stop it without it just being saved to my drive.
I kind of wish it recorded the countdown.
Yeah, that'd be
included.
Okay, so, yeah, my name is Cynthia, and your name is?
My name's Ethan.
And this is the Cynthetic Podcast. Woo! Very quickly, I just want to introduce that this is going to be a weekly thing. I already talked about it in my introduction video, and if you haven't watched that, just check it out. It hasn't been uploaded as of right now, but it will be. So this is a place where we talk about movies, video games, and television. A lot of things that are just media related. And me and Ethan are going to be talking about these new movies that come out, as well as movies that we have watched over the course of the week. We're going to be... Bless you. Oh my god. We're going to be talking... Yeah. We're going to be talking about... Overall, we're going to be having like organized discussions about this in a looser way. We're just going to come every week with different things to talk about. And yeah, do you have anything else you want to add to that, Ethan?
No.
Okay. Okay. So, first, we're going to start every episode by introducing ourselves and talking about what we watched over the week. And very quickly, I'm going to pull out my Letterboxd app, Letterboxd. You can follow me at Obi Cthulhu. I don't know how to change my Letterboxd username. So,
gotta make a new account and start over.
I guess I do. Very quickly, I didn't watch too much this week. I just kind of watched Godzilla x Kong, unfortunately. Doo-doo movie. It sucks. Don't watch it. And then I got Evil Dead 2 on Blu-ray, which I wish I probably could go grab it because I'm in the living room now. And I got on Blu-ray. I watched the initial cut, and I really want to watch it with commentary, and I want to watch like all the behind the scene footage. And there's also a documentary about how it was made, so I really want to watch that. And then I didn't watch anything for a really long time until I watched Longlegs. Oh, and I also watched, which we're going to be talking about. I'm not going to give any spoilers to the podcast yet. And I also watched It's Impossible to Learn to Plow by Reading Books, which is Richard Linklater. Very good movie. Really liked it. Not for everyone, though. So, yeah. That's what I watched over the week.
You should have warned me to watch more stuff before doing this, because Longlegs is the only movie I've watched in a while.
Oh.
And, I'm watching The Boys, which we'll talk about when the season's over.
Yeah.
And other than that, I just finished rewatching Flapjack.
Flapjack?
And I could actually talk about Flapjack for a while, because amazing show. And sadly, rewatching it in my 20s, I'm like, it gets really repetitive late in the second season, and it was a little bit of a chore to finish the show. But I love how it kind of, I'd say it spawned the modern era of Cartoon Network. You see so much of J.G. Quintel and Alex Hirsch's work come to life through Flapjack into their later works, and Thurop Van Orman, as the creator and the voice of Flapjack, is one of the most memorable characters of all time for me.
Do they wait? Are Alex?
Alex
I'm
Hirsch
sorry.
worked on Flapjack. I don't know if in what capacity, maybe storyboarding or writing, but J.G. Quintel was the creative director for the first season.
Dog. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was a stacked cast of like people from Cal Arts going into Cartoon Network.
Damn. That's actually really cool. I mean, was Flapjack canceled? Do you know, or did it end?
It ended, but the third season was only like 8 episodes long, but each episode being 2 episodes, versus the first 2 seasons having like 20 plus.
That sounds like they were getting canceled.
Yeah, but it also ended with like an ending, but the ending was really abrupt. So yeah, it seems like a cancellation. I feel like it was canceled while episodes were being developed, and then they just had to kind of end it where they were.
Yeah, probably.
The
I think
final episode is the 1,000 pieces of candy one, if you remember, when they were drinking the 1,000, and then they turn into a fish, and then they get cured, and then they turn into real people, and they float off into the sunset, and that's the end.
Yeah.
It's an actual tragedy that they never made it to Candy Island in the show. And one of the weird things like from halfway through season 2 onward to season 3, there is no mention of Candy Island for like 10 plus episodes straight, which I was like, that's like the whole premise of the show.
Yeah.
And but you know, I enjoyed it. Right now we're gonna do a rewatch of Invader Zim, and we just watched the first 2 episodes last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I tried rewatching it after a really long time. I think I was like 14. It was on Amazon Prime.
It still is.
Oh, it still is? Okay, cool.
Just the first season, I think.
Yeah. It's just I didn't like watching it because it was in like SD, and I was like, ew, I don't want to watch it in SD, and I was being super picky about it.
I think
So
it still is because it looks a little rough, but it's scaled up to 1080.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was just like I just didn't like how it looked, and
it's kind of funny being an adult and watching Gurr, because I was like, oh my god, he's so mean when I was a kid, and now I'm like, wow, he's annoying.
That's how we all feel when we grow up.
Yeah, we all turn from SpongeBob to Squidward at some point.
Yeah, real. R.I.P. R.I.P. SpongeBob.
Yeah, but that's all I've watched.
Okay, well, I mean, that's fine. I only watched 4 movies aside from the one we both actually watched.
Yeah. Are we gonna do a spoiler-free and then spoiler section, or
I think we should just
talk about spoilers?
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about it pretty vaguely at first, and then like dive into it. But I see no reason why not to talk about spoilers.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So
I don't click on videos that are spoiler-free after I've seen the movie, so
yeah, true. And it's already been like basically a century in media terms.
Yeah.
For Longlegs. So yeah, we watched Longlegs, directed by Osgood Perkins. It released last weekend, or this last weekend, whatever. And both of our thoughts about it. It sucks.
yeah,
Well,
I was extremely disappointed. Not that it was a bad movie, but that I was misled. And it's kind of I might even say it's unfair of me to not enjoy it because of the hype, but they marketed it that way. I love that you froze on my screen with a Dr. Pepper facing the camera.
Dr. Pepper supremacy.
But yeah, fun fact, Oz Perkins is the son of uh, other Perkins guy who was
Anthony Perkins.
Anthony Perkins, who was Norman Bates in Psycho, which was another movie we talked about at some point, but well, I talked about it, but
Yeah.
a movie we watched together, and it's weird to think that a black and white movie from back then, when like the son of the actor in that movie directed this, it's like it feels like it's been 100 years.
Yeah. Little nepo baby moment. I very quickly do want to talk about. He did have an interview recently. I don't know if you saw this. A lot of people are talking about it.
I don't know what else looks like.
I don't know. He kind of looks like just like a regular guy. He doesn't even really look like his dad. I mean, he just kind of looks like generic white guy.
Is he middle aged? How old is he?
Yeah, he's like he's middle aged something. I don't know how old he is. Let me just check real quick. Oh, I could have just checked with. But he had a 1974. Well, how old is he? Why don't you just say how old he is?
He'd be 58.
58. Okay, that's better math than me. Wait, what? 1974?
68?
Six.
No, wait. I am way
60.
wrong. I am way wrong.
50. He's 50.
74.
It's 2024.
Wait. Yeah, it's 2024. What am I doing?
Dude, we can't do math. Already, we got a clip. We got a clippable moment, everybody.
You praised my math and didn't realize how wrong I was.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's quick math. Oh, we're both gonna get
I think
roasted.
I took the 2024 and the 74. It was like 4 plus 4 is 8. But yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about the movie.
Yeah. Sorry. So Osgood Perkins, he did an interview where he was like, he was like condemning I don't want to say condemning, but he's basically going like, I don't watch new horror movies because they suck, and I don't want to make stinker movies. And I'm like, dog.
Well, congratulations. You just done that.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, my dad, he made some of the greatest, or was a part of some of the greatest films of all time, and he also was part of some of the lowest movies of all time.
Yes, because he worked with Alfred Hitchcock himself.
Yeah, I'm just like, so like, I'm just like, I think a lot of people have like a good point where they're saying, you know, he probably shouldn't have said that he said that he didn't want to, he will never watch Maxine or Pearl, and he only mentioned the X trilogy by name, because I guess it's because he's only seen X, and I'm like, I don't know, his filmmaking, it's very much like he is making it with like a modern lens, you know, like he makes his films feel very reminiscent of a lot more modern media instead of...
I don't like to use this word to criticize art, but Longlegs is so derivative that I felt like I was watching knockoffs of 3 other movies. Those being Silence of the Lambs, Seven, and sometimes what was the other movie I was thinking of while watching it? But like, it felt like he was trying
Zodiac.
to like leech off of our nostalgia for other movies from the 90s and before. But like, what new things it brought to the table were not super interesting. And it's weird to bring up the X trilogy as like way to complain about new horror, because he could have easily complained about the majority of Blumhouse films,
Yeah.
like jump scare filled formulaic studio movies. But why A24 movies that are known to be different?
I think again he's just like he's just trying to like I don't know. It's just like this weird way of like trying to punch down on another creator, which both I don't really like Ty West's work either, um, but um, I don't think I've seen an Osgood Perkins film aside from Longlegs. So like this being my introduction to him, and then him also coming off as like this pretentious guy who's being pretentious because he's the son of fucking Anthony Perkins.
He's
Which like
nepo maxing.
yeah, nepo maxing. Also, I want to make sure his name is Anthony Perkins. What if it's not?
It's that sounds about right, but I keep thinking of Perch Perkins from SpongeBob.
No, it is Anthony Perkins. I'm right. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
That would be so embarrassing. 15 minutes into the podcast, we've gotten his name wrong. Oh, sorry, that scared me.
I think I was being like robbed or something.
I thought it was like a ghost, just like popping up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the movie in general, I didn't like it either. I didn't really like. I think the first act was probably pretty interesting. I think they introduced a lot of interesting concepts to it, and then overall they just fail to execute it properly. That's my biggest gripe with it, is that most of it just it doesn't land well. All the plot points they bring up, her being like psychic throughout the whole movie, that's kind of cool. The repressed memories, I think that's very reminiscent of repressed childhood trauma, especially around the religious horror that it has. Religious horror and like childhood trauma are usually often hand in hand, when it comes to like these types of films. However, it didn't really do anything with it.
Yeah.
And it also sucks because the ending just sucks.
Oh yeah.
Ending
We'll get into the ending later, but like the
Yeah.
first 30 minutes, I was hooked. I was like, this is gonna be so good, and I hate to say that the first like the scene where she's at her house right before the end of part one, right, and then or yeah, so like right before part two, when she's at her house at night, that was the only scary scene in the whole movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is gonna be so great, and I felt like our character, like what's her name, Lee Harker.
Yeah.
I
Lee
feel
Harker.
like she is the most, like, not incompetent, but like she saw a man walking in her house. She like walks in, points a gun around, and then sits down at the desk and makes a phone call. And then like I'm like, you're gonna go to bed after you saw that? You're gonna stay in the house? Are you not gonna call for more police to come? Like, and then she gets this blackmail about her boss, whose kid is going to be murdered, and she does not seem conflicted at all about making this decision. And even after Longlegs is out of the picture, she still doesn't tell him.
Yeah. She doesn't tell him, and also I thought it was weird. The the officer's daughter, her birthday is obviously on the 14th.
Yep.
So like, why isn't that mentioned throughout the whole film? Like, I get it, like the killers, it's on the 14th, but
Yeah.
the officer says nothing. He's like, that could. He doesn't even go like, oh, that could be my daughter.
Yeah.
My daughter could be one of these victims in these crimes. I don't want to be one of those.
To give Oz the benefit of the doubt, I think that he wanted us to be like, oh shit, her birthday's on the 14th, and like have us be suspenseful about it. But it's like, it takes over an hour for that to come back into the film, and
Yeah.
it is not mentioned at all. Lee is not conflicted at all about the decision she has to make, because I guess she was going to pick her mom over that kid any day. But
Oh, with the end of the movie?
yeah, like
Oh.
we don't see any conflict in her with that. Like, oh my God, his family is gonna die if I don't say any, or if I say something. Like, it doesn't seem like she was concerned about that at all.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's really weird, especially because, like, she does resort to violence at the end of the movie, but, like, for not a really strong reason. I think mainly it's just, like, a lot of Lee Harker's convictions are not very like strong-willed, um, especially if she's going to be in such a important part of the movie, especially being a part of like the special services or special
The
being a
CIA or FBI, sorry.
FBI, yeah,
Yeah.
being a special agent and tracking down a possible. And also, I think the fact that they go like, yeah, you're a psychic. And,
Yeah.
don't mention. No one cares about it afterward. And then they're like, yeah, no, we don't believe in supernatural, heebie-jeebie, dark voodoo magic. I'm like, what the fuck? You believe in psychics, but you don't believe in that? What?
Another thing,
Why? Yeah, go ahead.
they have this suspicion that all of Longlegs' kills are connected because of his notes and all that. Yet they, yada yada, don't believe that there's evidence that he's the killer. Why wasn't there a doll at every scene?
Oh, well, they explain it in the movie.
They did.
Yeah, I think. Also, okay, sorry. I also have to say that my biggest upset with the movie is how the movie just hammers you over the head with what's going on. Instead of just like piecing it together by yourself, the mom just explains the entire movie, just like verbally. She like they show you it too, and it's not that hard to decipher verbally or just watching it visually. They just end up like showing the mom delivering the doll to every house, and then
Yeah.
letting the people die, and then coming back and getting the doll again. And I'm just like, what? Why do you have to narrate over this? And it's not a short scene. It's like 5 straight minutes of her just talking. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
Did not like that. Yeah, the last half hour of the film, like, didn't lose me, but I was like, oh great, because I was so gripped by the first act, because I was, it had a lot of that Silence of the Lambs, like the main character was very similar, but she started to become less and less relatable because she was so whatever towards a lot of like things that I would have had a more emotional reaction to. Not that the main character has to be me, but like, you know, I'm like, this person is unfeeling at the weirdest of times. And I found Longlegs to be a very uncompelling villain, especially if he was supposed to be reminiscent of, I don't know, Hannibal Lecter. Not necessarily, but
yeah,
he wasn't much of an antagonist like John Doe or the characters that he seems to be loosely inspired by.
yeah. I mean, yeah, like the inspirations. I mean, I think it's very specifically like the feminine features of
Buffalo Bill.
yeah, Buffalo Bill. Very
Right.
reminiscent. I thought it was. Really thought it was going to be like, oh, this serial killer is transsexual, and the serial killer really likes to just kill women for their skin and wants to be a woman so bad. Oh, they can't be a woman. But like again, I'm not criticizing Silence of the Lambs right now. I'm just I don't.
Yeah.
I, I was just like, oh, is so? Are we just gonna steal that plot line or what? But they don't. Again, they.
Yeah, they don't. But I there's a phone call to the police or to a 911 call in the movie that and in the advertising that super threw me off for what this movie was going to be about. Because there's a father calling 911 and talking about how his daughter, there's something wrong with her, it's not her. And it's like, oh, like this is going to be the analog horror stuff. There's like some kind of imposter in the home and he kills his family out of some kind of delusion or whatever. And that's not it. It's just the doll was brought into the house and then Satan, I got to kill my family and myself. Like that's such a disappointing like decision, and they
Yeah.
marketed it like it was going to be something we haven't gotten before.
Yeah. I think if they well, I think if they were gonna go with what they were marketing, They really could have decided to go with um, just advertising it like how it is, instead of doing like these vague um, snippets of like audio recordings and nothing really happening in the trailer. And like, I don't like knowing what happens in a movie, but like when you're hyping it up to be about something that's so like like a lot of people are very invested in the Mandela catalog. Like, it's not very niche anymore like it used to be like a year ago. I would say a lot more people know what it is, and there's like, and again, I think that's probably Wendigoon, because his video has like millions of views.
I think
So
Game
people
Theory
actually,
talked about it too, and that's
oh,
probably where a
game,
lot of people learned it from. But
yeah, Game Theory also talked about it,
also Skinamarink.
and Skinamarink, yeah, because Skinamarink, again, this makes me appreciate Skinamarink more. I was hoping that we get another movie like Skinamarink, probably that had a little more heavy on the narrative than before,
Yeah.
but like that has like a cool shape shifting demon or something.
Yeah, less experimental, but same concept or similar concept. But yeah, I'm so upset because like I left the theater not knowing why he's called Longlegs. Uh, some people are praising it for Nicolas Cage's performance, and I'm like, he just felt like Nicolas Cage in a mask. Like he did not, I did not appreciate the character much at all. And
Yeah,
also the daddy like car scene is playing in my head 24/7.
yeah. Daddy.
Daddy, mommy. But like, what do people find compelling about him? I didn't like. He's not. He doesn't look iconic. If they were trying to create an iconic villain out of him, like he just looks like a messed up, possibly homeless person.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's very unfortunate. Again, I mean, I didn't really find anyone's performance in this movie very strong.
I
Um,
really liked um, Carter, the boss. The
oh,
yeah,
yeah,
uh,
I liked him,
yeah. I
but
mean, but like, I feel like I liked him because he reminded me a lot of the Batman's Commissioner Gordon,
yeah, yeah, that's also
but he has the
fair.
same name as um, Chris Tucker's character in uh, Rush Hour.
Oh, you're right.
My first thought was his name's Carter, but yeah,
Yeah, overall, I don't know. I just like the second chapter of the movie too is just kind of like nothing. I don't really feel anything from it. It was like, oh, I'm gonna rate this movie 4.5 stars. I already know it, and then I was like, okay, okay,
yeah.
okay. And then they
Now,
go. There's just
did Longlegs turn himself in? Was he caught on purpose? I never really figured out. Like, it just kind of fades to him getting approached by the police
yeah.
at the bus
I
stop.
I don't even know. I think it was a part of the plan to get caught. I assume because he was waiting at a bus stop, but he has a fully functioning car.
True.
So,
Didn't think
and
about
also,
that.
how did he get there?
I mean,
I don't know.
perhaps he walked, but
Yeah,
I don't
perhaps.
know. Him taking himself out of the movie did nothing for me. I mean, especially, I mean, he has more screen time and like flashbacks and memories and stuff, but I don't know. I wish I cared about him in the movie more.
Yeah, yeah. Overall, I don't know. I'm just like disappointed with the movie because it was like when I got really hyped for it, especially when they announced it, because the announcement trailer was so good, and they were making you figure out clues to the movie, and again, this is why. Again, it's Avengers: Age of Ultron all over again. This is why I don't get hyped up for movies anymore, because, or like specifically, I try not to get hyped up for new releases, because otherwise,
Megalopolis.
I know I'm super hyped for Megalopolis, and if it comes out like shit, I'm gonna be so mad.
It's gonna be rough.
I know it is gonna be rough. Francis Ford Coppola, don't disappoint me. I know you're a really terrible person, but make good movies. How about that?
Yeah.
Get back to work. Stop.
I really hope that Cuckoo is a better movie.
I also am very
When
excited for
we were
that.
before the movie started, we saw the trailer for that, and I was like, you know what? I think Neon might be my new favorite production company. And then we finished watching Longlegs, and I was like, okay, I think both of these movies are gonna be bad. But
Um,
like, such great horror visuals, but no substance.
yeah,
Because Longlegs, when the dolls are covered by the black sheets and they have the eyes underneath, that was genuinely scary. And in the Cuckoo trailer with the red dots in the eyes and like the way that the creatures are chasing at like the characters and like the camera work, this looks genuinely scary. I can't wait to see how the narrative fails to match that.
yeah. But I think I don't know. I don't know if he has any involvement or if he just posts it a lot. But Hideo Kojima like posts the shit out of that movie. I know he's working on a movie with Jordan Peele, right?
I hope so. That's a match made in heaven.
Or they're working on something together. I swear that because Jordan Peele was invited to his studio.
Metal Gear Solid the movie.
Jordan Peele directing. Um, Overall, yeah. We our thoughts on the movie. I gave it 2.5 stars. I mean, it might go lower, honestly. Again, this like Dune 2, like all this year, I've been like, the only few movies that I've been excited for have been like not that great,
Yeah.
or I feel like they have not been that great.
I think 2.5 sounds appropriate.
Um,
I'm thinking because I mean I barely use Letterboxd, but I'm sure there's worse movies that I've given a 3.
Maybe.
And again, I feel like it's super unfair for me to judge it based on the hype, but they gave us those expectations. Like,
Yeah.
and I kind of avoided the trailer because I thought it would show too much. But like, does the trailer even show that like this movie was going to be like religious horror and not anything else?
No.
No.
Well,
So
because like I think also another issue that I have with this movie is for some reason, like, even though Osgood Perkins is like, I don't like contemporary art, he's treating like a lot of these real reveals as like a MCU cameo reveal. Like Captain America just joined the fucking movie, and I don't know. It's stinky overall. Yeah, I mean, overall, I think I won't have anything to say about this movie moving forward. Not like moving forward in the podcast, but like I just mean like in life. Like in 2 weeks, I'll forget about this movie, and I'll be like, oh yeah, that came out this year.
yeah, and I've had that with a few movies within the last year. I remember they did a movie for the Stephen King book, and I can't remember what it's called already because that's how bad it was. But
Was it one of the Pet Cemetery ones?
no,
Or?
it was about like a creature in the dark or something,
No.
and you know, jump scare heavy, really stupid plot, forgettable cast and acting, and it's so bad I can't remember the name anymore. But it was about around a year ago, and I was like, oh, they're doing a Stephen King movie, and yeah, they just it was a lot of long drawn out, dark, suspenseful things followed by over the top jump scares. And then a lot of those fake out jump scares where the door flies open and it's just a guy there like, hey, what's going
Hey.
on? And I'm like,
Is that the one with Anthony Starr?
oh my god, is he? Do you have the title of a movie? in
No,
front of
I
you?
don't know.
No. I
I know that Anthony Starr is in a horror movie, but I don't know what it was. But that one has to do with like family, and it's like the subtext is like
The
domestic
boogeyman.
abuse.
It's the boogeyman.
That's the
It was
boogeyman.
bad. Rotten Tomatoes 61%. IMDb 5.9%. It's on Hulu. Anthony Starr doesn't appear to be in it, no.
Okay.
But bad movie. I watched it in theaters.
Oh, you watching theaters?
Yeah.
Yeah. Out of this year, hold on. Let me. I'm not. I mean, I don't care about really revealing my 2024 list. I've only seen 6 movies this year. Like that have released this year. I'm a fake cinephile. Sorry, seven because of Longlegs.
I've seen a few. I've seen Monkey Man. I skipped out on a lot of blockbusters so far this year. I did not watch Planet of the Apes. I have not
Yeah,
seen A Quiet Place Day One. I did not watch Fall Guy, Civil War. I
yeah,
refuse to watch If with Ryan Reynolds. It looks awful.
yeah, it does.
I saw the TV Glow. We could talk about that.
Oh, that's true. That is true. Um, yeah, I mean, we can talk about I saw the TV Glow because I also want to make a video on that, and it's I don't know when did that movie come out.
Like a month ago.
Yeah, oh, true. So we can catch up on that as well. But I saw the TV Glow is a great movie and is fantastic, and I love it. I love it very much. Um, I do think there's like issues with the movie with the movie.
Do
But
tell.
overall, I think the emotional impact with the movie is way more impactful for me than any any gripes I have with the movie. Because like again, movies are about, or art itself is just about feeling moved at the end of the day. So
Yeah. Or feeling nothing.
or feeling nothing. That's
Depends
true.
on the intention. But what I want to take note of is the atmosphere of the movie, which is very very well crafted by the colors and the music. And I think that the movie that it made me feel the closest to was I'm Thinking of Ending Things, which is
Hmm.
one of my favorite experiences that I will never watch again, because
Yeah.
it's a movie that will make you like kind of derealize. And it's like the pacing is so slow that it's like it's not like a criticism I have of it. It's like it takes you out of your body for a while, which is thematically on point. And I like
Yeah.
that there's a lot of sequences that you can't really place on the timeline, like when he's climbing into the TV and his dad pulls him out. It's like, did that actually happen in the movie? Like during the events of the movie? Um,
Yeah.
just like stuff like that, where it's like kind of like a dream. Like, don't question little things that happen because it's very interpretive and it might not have actually happened. Um, and I like that the movie played an ambiguous route when forgot her name confronts forgot his name. Wow,
Owen.
I'm so bad.
Owen
Owen, yes.
and I want to say Grace. Her name's not Grace.
Yeah, when I like that he's presented with like the, your reality isn't real situation, and we actually see for the first time a red pill, blue pill, where someone takes the blue pill. Because like I did my Truman Show video way back where he finds out that his world isn't real, and then the whole point is he has to get out of it at all costs. The Matrix, red pill, blue pill, blah, 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 blah. Red pill, blue pill. I'd rather be in the real world than stay in the Matrix. Now we got someone who stayed in the Matrix and realized I missed out on the truth. I chose my comfortable prison versus my uncomfortable freedom.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy to see a film that does a Matrix-esque metaphor and chooses the other path and shows where that leads.
Yeah, I think that's a very good read on like I saw the TV Glow because it is like about a character who very much doesn't really want to be there, like where Owen is. Um, and despite all the help that Maddie gives him, you know, the fact that it makes him so uncomfortable to feel like that he is ultimately that there's greater purpose out there, and that he's like meant for more, and that he's actually dying, whether or not yeah, like again, we can read it one or two ways, or you can read it a few ways, but like you can be like, oh, Maddie's lying, and they're just like both very mentally ill people um, who fantasize too much about television, or you can read it as this is like real things happening, and Owen is trapped in this dream world where he's dying and he doesn't even know it, and he's actually Isabel.
I believe that
Isabel.
was the name.
Yeah, Isabel, and she's buried in the pit in the ground right now, and
Yeah, it was I've never seen a more clever allegory. I mean, saying the Matrix, I mean, I still don't see how the Matrix is a trans allegory, but I believe it because the two creators themselves actually came out. So, I
yeah,
mean, I'm not going to say no, you're wrong. Your piece of art, it doesn't represent what you said it. But like one thing I want to say before I forget is I love the shot of the chalk on the ground saying there is still time, because it's like
mm-hmm.
after you've experienced the majority of this movie, it's not Owen reading that off the ground. It's like it's telling it to the audience. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you right to your face, if you haven't already come out and you are a trans person, there is still time. Like, do you want to comfortably hide yourself, your real self forever? What do you accomplish by doing that? And I love that we see the consequence of not finally, like, not coming forward and doing that when Owen just absolutely melts down at that party after working in the little clubhouse place for 30 years and settling down, and he's you know and having that nostalgia thing where you rewatch your favorite show and it's not the same as you remember. It's there's so many feelings to feel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's so much feelings to feel in this movie, and I think that makes it more powerful overall, and way more powerful than Osgood Perkins' Longlegs. Um, so it's just like,
Why is he called Longlegs?
why is it called Longlegs?
We don't even see the lower half of his body much at all. He doesn't seem to have long legs.
Yeah, except for like the beginning of the movie, where where he's framed like he has really long legs because it's
From the
at the height of a
perspective of a
child.
child,
Yeah,
that might be it. I mean,
I
maybe because a lot of children get killed by him, that he's perceived as someone with long legs. I don't know.
don't know
I
either.
I don't see why he wrote long legs at every crime scene or why he calls himself that. It doesn't seem to have any bearing on the story at all. I don't think
Yeah,
it's a biblical thing or a thing in the book of Revelation. I don't think it has anything to do with anything.
no. But anyways, anyways, um, yeah, I saw the Two Glows, very good movie, and I really liked it, and I really loved it. Still my favorite movie of the year. I was like, oh, Longlegs might be the one to contest it, and it's not. It didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, especially with like I saw the TV Glow, I think that a lot of people misunderstand the movie, which is so weird. That people like, f- like, like I've seen people go like, "Oh, it's not a trans allegory. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, it's not about queerness. It's about nostalgia." Like,
I mean, sure, but you're denying the main premise.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of the interviews with the director who is a trans person?
Yeah.
I
Like,
love when people deny the meaning of an artwork to the person who created it.
yeah. And I mean, like, I don't know. Everyone, like Jane Schoenberg.
Charles.
No. Jane has said in like an interview, not an interview, or sorry, she tweeted about it, where she was like, "Hey guys, I really appreciate you guys like defending like the movie that I made, and it does have like a meaning that I did intend in it, but you know at the end of the day that doesn't matter because if someone reads it differently, then, you know they read it differently and it's art and that's how it's supposed to be interpreted." And you know, if someone interprets something that wasn't intended, then you know I don't have a problem with that, and I respect that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, a great thing about making art is people can read into it something that you didn't even think of and make you appreciate it more.
Mm-hmm.
But to be like, no, it's wrong. Like,
Yeah, I think the conversation about it, just like people saying, oh, blah 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 is wrong. Like you are wrong for reading it like that. Um, I think that's like a redundant way to have a discussion about it. I think you can argue. You can sit there and argue like, oh, well, I think it's about this, and someone goes like, oh, I think it's about this, and then maybe both of them don't walk away agreeing with each other still. But um, I think overall, you know,
yeah. I like
I again,
that social media like thing where people were like, "What show made your TV glow?" And I can't remember what my answer was to that.
you said Invader Zim.
Invader Zim. Well, I'm watching it again,
Yeah.
and you know, it's funny because it seems just as good as I remember. But like, it definitely has that late at night, I shouldn't be watching this kind of feel to it, where it's really grotesque and creepy and just yeah, like it's for kids, but it's like nightmare
Yeah.
fuel.
Well, I mean, they used to like. I remember from when we had sleepovers, they used to play Invader Zim like right before Nick at Night.
Yeah, and
So
yeah, no, it was like rewatching it now. There's some really disturbing content in that. Same with Flapjack, and it's like exclusively in season 3 of Flapjack because there's the creepy cat image you've seen, which is right at the beginning of season 3. And then there was another like really just there's a lot of like really creepy imagery, but it was like mostly in the final season. Maybe that's what got it canceled.
probably,
I don't know why
prob-
Van Orman was like, you know, I'm gonna show this cat with no eyes and like a circle of shark teeth like 4 or 5 times in the same episode.
yeah, it's for the gag.
Kids will love this.
Yeah. Um. But yeah, sorry, circling back to I saw the TV. Oh, but I don't know
made
what
your
my
TV glow.
um honestly, I guess that would like change a lot because like I watched a bunch of shows, but when I was like 13, 14, I watched the shit out of Supernatural. Yeah.
Lame. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, like out of like the campy TV shows, it was Hercules, that 90s or 80s TV show, that live action one that had like 8 seasons. I watched the shit out of that.
I watched a lot of bad TV when I was 13. I remember I was mostly watching Adult Swim, so a lot of American Dad and Family Guy. Not that I enjoyed them, but like I was like, ooh, this is like risky to watch. They say bad words. And I remember I stopped because the most disturbing TV ad of all time happened on Adult Swim and scared me into not watching TV at night anymore. I don't know the name of the show, but there was an ad where it was just like this woman with her face painted white laughing and like vomiting blood on the camera and like just like It was like an ad for a show, but like it scared me to death, and I was like paralyzed. I couldn't even turn the TV off. I was so scared. And I'm like, who approved this for television? And they're like, yeah, it's Adult Swim. It's not for kids, but like horrifying.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would scare the shit out of like almost anyone.
Yeah.
To be
Yeah.
honest.
I'm glad I never got that ad when The Nun was coming out, because they did an ad where your screen would be black and it would show that your volume is like going down. So it would trick you into raising your volume, even though it was like the old school Mac or iPhone like volume thing. And then it would be a jump scare of The Nun when you just raised your volume all the way up. And they had to take that down because kids were getting that ad on YouTube.
Yeah, I was getting that out on YouTube.
You didn't even, I didn't even have to explain it. You got it.
No, I knew because I actually fell for it, and I was wearing headphones too. I was wearing my headphones, and like sometimes at night, like I'm just like chilling watching YouTube, and then I would like accidentally hold down the lower volume button anyways. So I thought that was a normal thing that I did. So I was like, oh, my volume's going down. I gotta put it up. And then,
That's
and
terrible.
then it got jump scared the shit out of me.
That's terrible.
It was terrible. It was the worst thing that ever happened. I hated
Wow.
it. Yeah.
Um, I don't know what my top movie of this year is gonna be, because I'm right now I'm leaning on Monkey Man or Dune 2. I know you didn't love Dune Part 2, but I did not like Dune Part 1.
Dune Part Poo.
There is The Beekeeper,
Oh
which,
yeah. I
despite
did not
being
watch.
a very cliche action movie, I thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah. I do hear a lot of people actually really liked it.
Like, it's very John Wick, but like it's also very every other Jason Statham movie where he's like, I'm retired, I don't do that anymore. And then something bad happens, he's like, well, back to work. And he kills a bunch of people. But like they had like a really cool plot where the guy who runs this evil corporation like turns out to be the son of the president of the United States, which is a plot twist, and I just spoiled it if anyone hasn't seen the movie, but I don't care.
I haven't seen
And the son of the president, you weren't gonna watch it. The son of the president is played by
it. Josh
what's his name?
Hutcherson.
Yeah, that name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the whistle guy, the FNAF guy.
God damn it.
Fun fact for those listening: the FNAF movie was the last movie we got to see in our local theater before it shut down, and Cynthia watched it twice.
I watched it twice, and now I live next to it.
Yep.
Oh, it's so Jover. It's Jover.
We gotta start some kind of crowd fund to reopen that theater.
I know, like they're not doing anything with it right now, and I'm like, do something, please. Like some other like someone was speculating. Oh, I think this other movie theater company bought it out. No, the landlord just was a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was like the spot to watch movies.
I know. It was like my go-to. I always would go there. It was so good. But anyways, that's also where I watched Puss in Boots and Avatar: The Way of Water. Those were good times.
I'm having a hard time remembering where I was when I watched certain movies because I just remember the screen and not the seats or anything.
Yeah. That's also where I watched Scream, the original one.
Oh,
when they re-released it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were doing like a Fright Night or whatever.
Yeah. Our theater does a lot of old movie reruns over here, and that's where I watched the original Top Gun for the first time, which I did not enjoy, but my friend made me watch it because he was obsessed with like 80s like action music and planes, I guess, and I'm like, all right. And I also watched Back to the Future there for the first time. Yeah, so that was a cool experience. My first time watching Back to the Future was in a movie theater 30 years after it came out.
That's epic.
Yeah.
I love that. I love movies, Charlie. I love movies.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Smiling Friends season 2. Let's talk about
oh,
Smiling Friends season 2.
we're just catching up right now.
Yeah,
I love Smiling Friends.
yeah,
Look at that seamless transition. Obviously, we were going to talk about Smiling Friends season 2
yeah. That was
from the
planned.
get. Yeah,
That was
it was all planned.
it was me,
Just
Barry.
like just sorry, just kidding. I'm not going to talk about that. Um
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! I thought
Dude, it fucking scared me.
I I don't know why that like blended into my reality like someone was in front of me.
Oh, that's good.
I like someone like there. It's impossible. I have a wall behind my computer, but I was like, "There's a person in here." Oh my God. Yeah, Smiling Friends season 2, just as good as season 1.
Yeah.
Um,
I wouldn't say it was like better in any particular way.
yeah, about just as good.
Yeah, I think just as
Um,
good. Which is good.
my
That's not a bad thing.
only gripe right with it is why was there a Halloween and Christmas episode when they released in the spring? And that's probably because they finished ahead of schedule. But like, I just hate watching Christmas related stuff in the summer. And the boys did the same thing. Episode 7 was a Christmas episode. And I'm like, why? It's
I know. I
July.
was like, why
The
did
only
the boys
two
come out?
TV shows I watched that came out this year, and they both have a Christmas episode in July or June.
Yeah. Like, I was just confused because I was like, why did? Oh Lord, why did they drop a Like I thought Smiling Friends was doing it for shits and giggles, but you know, I also don't know because like the last episode, technically it's a Christmas episode, but also they do a time skip where it's like 4th of
When
July.
it's summer, yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, maybe that's the bit. Like maybe that's the bit they were
They did
doing.
a Halloween episode a month before.
But I know that's why I'm like,
I think they
Okay.
finished the season way ahead of schedule.
or way late on schedule.
True. But
Could be either of those.
I assumed ahead of schedule because no, actually late sounds more appropriate because those take a long time to make.
Yeah.
And yeah. No, I'd say
Yeah.
ahead because I feel like
Probably.
they intended on it releasing this fall and then it didn't.
Yeah.
Like the Halloween one I can roll with more because I'm down for spooky any time of the year, but also it didn't feel like much of a Halloween episode. But like I was just super excited about like the references that I got, like the I Feel Fantastic doll, adding more lore to Charlie's uncle who has committed vehicular manslaughter and owns a lot of guns and apparently this creepy doll.
Yeah.
And you know, like when it did the jump scare, I didn't even get jump scared. I was excited because I was like, yes, it did something.
Yeah.
And then we got
Nostalgia critic.
Nostalgia Critic. Just super happy to see references like that. And I feel like I'm the only one in my friend group that understood the Humunculus reference because I watched that stupid series with that Russian guy on YouTube like 10 years ago. Are you familiar
Oh
with that?
yeah. No, I actually had to have it explained to me because I didn't know what it was.
Yeah. So that was like a hoax that a lot of people believed, and the guy like died of like a heart attack or something like that because he was an older guy. People started speculating that the government of Russia killed him because he created life with an egg, and I'm like, it's fake. Like, it's so fake. You can't just nut in an egg and make life.
Stop fighting.
My
That-
least favorite episode of season 2, beside like I can get by all the holiday stuff out of the time frame. Least favorite episode is the president one with Jimble.
Oh.
Just a
Yeah, I didn't-
gross episode. I mean, I loved having Mr. Frog back, but it was a gross episode.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't really have strong feelings about that episode. Personally, I well wait, what was your favorite episode? Was it the
I think
Halloween?
the Professor Psychotic one with the homunculus. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite
If
too.
not that, I really liked the space one.
Oh, I actually didn't really like the space one that much.
Mm,
I just like the gag.
the flat Earth
Maybe
gag.
at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. I love
makes-
those like unscripted sounding arguments, like when Charlie was yelling at the aliens.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh yeah, well we don't even know whatever his name was, and he's like, yeah, yeah, and they're like instigating, like it's just I don't know any show where the writing feels so organic.
Yeah, yeah, that's very true. Yeah, I mean, my least favorite episode overall was just. It wasn't the president one. It was actually the. Oh, what was it? I had it in my head. It wasn't. I wasn't gonna say the alien one. It was gonna be a different one. It was gonna be.
What episodes were there? So not the Christmas one with Nasty or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
The snowman. Man.
Hold on, let me see.
All right, cool. It's still in the top 10 series on Max after the season ended like 3 weeks
Oh
ago.
yeah.
Okay, Gwimbly was a great episode. That
Gwimbly.
can't be your least favorite.
No, it's not.
Alan Adventure was amazing.
Oh. Where'd you go?
You lost me?
I did. Okay, you're back.
All right, I'm back. Did you not like the one with when they went to Spamish land? Spamtopia.
Spam. Yeah. No, I like that one. Actually, I don't know. I think it's a tie between Brothers Egg and Family Jewel, aka Tyler Gets Fired. I like both of those episodes a lot.
Oh, I thought you were talking about your least favorite.
No. My least favorite, actually, it might actually be the Alien episode.
Dang.
Or possibly the Mr. President episode. I think I just don't remember that episode, like, at all.
Yeah.
I feel very nothing about it.
I've watched season 2 3 times, and the president one was the one that was like the most like annoying to rewatch. It's when you write a character that's like so dumb, like sometimes Patrick and SpongeBob, it's like, okay, we get it, he's stupid, but like you're doing it too much. Like what makes characters like Patrick interesting is like sometimes they say something really smart.
Yeah.
But like when you just make them like, oh, I'm dumb, what did you say? Like,
Yeah.
and they never cut that out. It's just irritating.
Real.
I will say
Real.
season 1 had some spectacular episodes that I don't think any of season 2's episodes could beat. Particularly episode 1 with Desmond and Shrimp's Odyssey might be the best episode in the whole series. And Frowning Friends.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Season 1 was gold. And season 2 is still great, but I think, I like season 1 a little bit better, I think.
Yeah. I think they're both very, very equal. Very equal. Okay. I'm gonna cut us off for the main subjects. Just so that we can talk about the scarce news that we have, because I have only one thing written down. Do you have anything that might possibly be media news?
Yeah. Not really.
Okay. Well,
Check Hideo Kojima's Twitter.
God. Another post of Hunter Schafer. God, he's so down bad for Hunter Schafer. It's so funny.
I typed in media news and I can't find anything other than the Pew Pew incident.
Yeah. I don't know if we do want to talk about it, but probably not.
I think that's off topic.
Yeah, that's off.
Unless they make a movie about it.
Yeah. But speaking of Hunter Schafer, Euphoria season 3 has finally been announced to start filming soon in like January, I think. which, as a lot of people knew beforehand, it was delayed indefinitely.
Yeah.
Um,
And thanks
so this is
to
gonna
our
be,
boy Kendrick Lamar, I think that all the kids are now college age.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
doubt.
They are.
I know that there was probably going to be a time difference anyway, but some people are crediting Kendrick Lamar dissing Drake for his, like, it like um whatever you call it, with Euphoria, and how it's like a show that hyper sexualizes like teenagers. Um, Now they're like older, which was probably going
Yeah,
to happen anyway, but people are crediting Kendrick Lamar for that, and I think that's hilarious.
yeah. Well, I mean, you should have heard like the rumors. I mean, it was way before Kendrick dropped any of his diss tracks, but Sam Levinson was like, "I'm gonna make a real big time skip between the last season and this upcoming season." He said that they were gonna be like 20, 30 years old in the show in season 3. And well, again, this was he didn't say that, but it was like he said, she said.
Were they going to
Sam,
recast everyone?
nope. As
Okay,
far as
so
I
they're
know,
going to look 2 years older and they're going to play themselves in like 15 years.
yeah. So I was like, okay. I was, but also like the whole like a whole big part of like season 3, why it's happening is because it has a bunch of cliffhangers. So if you just don't have the returning plot lines, why the fuck are you gonna make a season 3? I think overall, Euphoria kind of doo doo pee pee stinky.
I
I just
haven't
thought
watched any of it, but I've heard
I've
people talk about it, and it's very drugs and sex, except they're all children.
yeah.
And I'm like,
Well,
wow,
cause
that sounds very interesting.
yeah, cause like Sam Levinson like talks about his like experience being a drug addict. So that's like what the show was supposed to like capture. And it's like him working through his shit, and like whatever. But like a lot of people on the set have been like, yeah, like Angus Cloud, he passed away after being on both seasons of the show, and he had a drug problem and he overdosed. Um, and uh, Dominic Fike was also in the show, and they both like mentioned something about like relapsing after trying to go clean and trying to do something that they thought was meaningful for the show.
Because of the characters they had to play.
Yeah,
Oh.
because both like all the characters, like Angus Cloud's character is like a drug dealer, but like he's like one of the good ones. He like tries to protect the people that he sells drugs to.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like Angus Cloud's character has like a really interesting arc in it. Rest in peace, though. He's like a really good guy, but
Yeah, this sounds like one of those projects that might be too overindulgent and maybe too sensitive to have made a show about in the first place.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's like very explicitly talking about these issues, and I kind of was just like, but overall, I didn't mean to talk about Euphoria for so long. I just finished Skins season 6, and that was very good, better than Euphoria. Everyone should watch Skins UK version.
Oh my god, I watched some of that when I was like 14, and I mean, it's an old show.
Yeah, 2000. I think it started in 2004.
Yeah, it looks like it was that era, plus Britain.
Yeah, plus British.
British.
British. Yeah, I mean, if you want to watch a cast of characters do drugs and sex, but they're in college, but they're still, under 18, because in the UK it's different.
Yeah. When I was the age of the characters in Euphoria, I saw that show.
Yeah. So, I mean, overall, I think that's all we have for today, unless you have anything else, Ethan.
No.
No, okay. Well, everyone, thank you for joining us on our first ever podcast. It's going to be a little short today. I mean, I didn't expect us to talk about three main subjects, but yeah, next week we will talk about The Boys season 4, and whatever else comes to mind. Me and Ethan will figure it out. But we'll be trying to do this weekly and post it on the Cynthetic Media channel. Yeah, where you can find all my other cool stuff, and follow me on Cynthetic Media everywhere. Yeah. And yeah. All right, everyone. Peace out. I expect you to say something.
Yeah, I went brain dead.
Yeah.
Did you end it or?
No, I didn't end it. I was waiting for you to say bye.
Check the mic and make sure
Okay,
it sound
bye,
right,
everybody.
boys.